So, breaking news about DACA. So, recently, from the Eastern District of New York, on November 20th, there was a decision from the judge in New York saying that the current director, Mr. Wolf, does not have the authority to make decisions in revoking the DACA program or making changes. So, this is a great decision from the judge from the Eastern District of New York. So, what happened was that the current administration under Trump wanted to even end the DACA program. They did not want to extend, allow people to travel on parole. They did not want people who missed a DACA in the past to apply for a new DACA if they missed it. So the judge has said that they do not have the authority. So at the end of the day, what does this mean to us? We have to wait until December 3rd to see whether they're going to allow those people who missed DACA in the past to start applying again, or we may have to wait until we have the new president coming in on the 21st of January to see what he wants to do about the DACA program. So the silver lining is that, as you all rightly know, that President-elect Joe Biden is supporting the DACA program. So my anticipation is that we are going to have some very good news coming in based upon what I've been hearing in the news. What is Joe Biden's plan for DACA holders? That's a very important question to all of us. Biden considers DACA holders to be Americans. He has also made statements that how could you penalize a child who came into this country at the age of 9, who doesn't know anything about the nation where he belongs to or where he was born. That is such an excellent statement by the president. I would say President-elect Joe Biden, and from the 21st, he will be our president. So specifically, Joseph Biden has stated that he wants to do a lot for DACA recipients because he considers them to be Americans. So what does this mean for DACA recipients? What is my analysis? I think that the president will try to find a path to permanent residence for DACA holders. This is my analysis, and I hope that those days will come soon. He has also said that children cannot live without parents. So he wants to come up with a plan so the parents of deferred action children are also protected in this country. Let's take a simple example. You are a DACA recipient, and if your parents are currently undocumented, so under the current administration, the sad reality is that the current president even wanted DACA recipients to lose their status, and he wanted them to leave the country. That was horrendous for me. It was something that was unimaginable. It was something that was unimaginable for me. And I didn't know what to say. I was just speechless. But now, this president is someone who cares for people. He is someone who cares for DACA recipients. He is someone who cares for immigrants. He wants to unite families in America. So I think that is a great step that the president wants to do for DACA holders as well as for our nation. So my anticipation is that DACA holders may, once if Biden becomes president, they may be allowed to get a parole to leave the country and come back, and also there'll be a path to green cards for DACA recipients. And people who may have missed their DACA, they may be allowed to actually renew the DACA. Let's see what happens once if Biden becomes the president. The other breaking news is that he is appointing Alejandro Mayorkas as basically his person in charge of immigration, director of immigration, who has worked under the Obama administration. And I'm so proud to see that he also happens to be an immigrant, and he has, his roots from Cuba. So this is excellent. So he is making the right choices. And I hope that exactly we will be seeing some happy days from the world of immigration. Some more words from President-elect Joe Biden is that he definitely believes in comprehensive immigration reform. Also, he has said that once if he comes into power, in the first 100 days, he wants to bring about change, which means he wants to see that the executive orders of President Obama should be reviewed carefully. And I will not be surprised if some of these executive orders are actually changed. So that'll be good for the people, that'll be good for the nation. The right people will be allowed to live in the United States. And I think even immigration judges will be staying the proceedings for 100 days until there is some thinking behind the people who are in remote proceedings. So these are some of the statements that have been made by President-elect Joseph Biden. In terms of the parents of DACA recipients, according to me, the president may consider the DAPA program. I think some of you don't know about DAPA, DAPA. They may consider, I'm not saying he will, there is a possibility of consideration. DAPA was deferred action for parents, of children who came in over here. So DAPA may be coming in, and that's going to be excellent for parents who have been living here for many years, that they may be able to get their work permits and they may be able to earn the green cards in the United States of America. So besides that, I've been getting a lot of questions as to what can DAPA or DACA holders do. I'm talking about DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals do, in light of the current situation. My first recommendation to DACA recipients, and this is very, very important. We have a lot of clients who are actually DACA holders. So there are things that DACA holders don't know about. That's what I'm going to talk about DACA today. Do you know that if you got your DACA before your 18th birthday, and if you have an employer who wants to sponsor you, great, he can sponsor you, and you may be eligible for a green card in this country if you entered with a visa, because you did not accrue unlawful presence. So that is one way of looking at the issue. Secondly, if you are a DACA recipient, and this is very important, if you marry an American citizen, you may have a possibility of getting a green card in America. If you are a DACA recipient, even if you marry a green card holder, you may have a possibility of getting a green card, depending upon the facts and circumstances of your case. So there was a very good question that I got asked from a viewer who said, Mr. Gehi, is it possible? Is it possible for me to get advance parole under DACA? My strongest recommendation to DACA holders is to try it. Try it. What's the worst they may do? They may just deny your parole. So make sure that you apply. And if there are exceptional circumstances, the law is that immigration has to consider your parole. So that is critically important. And you have to just follow the book of law. So if I were you, if you're in that situation, try it out. Wait until 21st of Jan to see of how the law changes. So now there was a question that a DACA holder asked me. He said, Mr. Gehi, I came to this country and I got my DACA. And then I applied for advance parole. I was granted advance parole. I left the country and I came back. So even if your initial entry was without inspection, if you went outside and if you came back, now, if you marry an American citizen, you may be able to get a green card within the United States because you went outside the country, you came back, your proof of entry, you may be eligible to apply for a green card in the United States. So that is very, very important. And then the next question from this DACA recipient was, how long will it take for me to get my green card? If you marry an American citizen, and if you have a legal entry, or if you traveled abroad on parole and came back to America, you should be getting your work permit. Now, this is a different work permit, not the one that you had under the DACA program. First, you'll get your work permit in approximately 5 to 6 months, because I'm adding a few extra months because of COVID. Then after that, once if you get that in, then it takes approximately 1 year for you to basically have the green card. So within 1 to 1.5 years, you should be, kind of in good shape, and that would help you tremendously, I believe. So these are some of the things that people have to know about the DACA program. And after that, initially, when you marry a citizen, you'll get a 2-year green card if your marriage is less than 2 years. Now, if your marriage is for more than 2 years, great news. You get a 10-year green card. And the other good news is, if you get a green card by marrying a citizen, even if you came in as a DACA holder, then after 3 years from there, you can apply, you are eligible to apply for US citizenship. After you become a citizen, you may also be able to sponsor your parents who came with a visa to the United States. So folks, this is everything that you need to know about DACA. And of course, there are some other minor things which people have to know about DACA, is that you should have entered into the United States before 2007. You should be under the age of 16 and not over the age of 31. Those are the two important things that people have to know about the DACA program. And of course, you should not have a felony on your record. And plus, of course, you should have at least a associate's degree, or you should be pursuing your associate's degree, and you should be a person of good moral character. So sometimes proving DACA can be difficult. Renewing your DACA sometimes can become difficult, especially when you have a criminal record, and that can happen at any time in between. Or if you're getting married to a US citizen, you need to definitely look at the entry issues before you apply for a green card under the DACA program. So this is what we all need to know about the DACA program. I think it's an excellent program, and I hope the president comes in with some great news. President-elect Joe Biden comes up with some great news, and he says that, well, the great news is that I want to do something for DACA recipients. This is something that will help us a lot. We all can go along with the president, and we all can make sure that we have some amazing news for our DACA recipients. And even the Supreme Court judge has acknowledged the contribution of DACA holders. So you all are doing an amazing job, especially if you're under the DACA program. Keep up the good work. Make sure that you make America proud of the fabulous job that you all are doing in this nation. And that is the best way to keep America great. So if you have any questions, or no open questions right now, we are going to open up for questions. And if there are any questions, you all can basically kind of ask us. We'll be happy to kind of answer your questions. And I'll ask the moderators to see if there's any questions. So here are any questions, please let us know. And the show is currently live. If you have any questions, you can ask us. So we'll be taking a few questions before we end the show for today. So I'll take a brief pause, and I'll be waiting for your questions. The show is now live. So this is the Zoom webinar chat. We are live on Zoom, and you can ask us also on Facebook. Also, you can ask us your questions, and we'll be happy to answer your questions, folks. And since I know that it's basically the Thanksgiving weekend, I do understand that we may have people who are enjoying this weekend. But as I said, since it's Thanksgiving time, and we'll make sure that we wind up the show a little early today. And let me wish each one of you a very, very happy and a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I hope that the coming year brings us success, good wishes, and green card to people who have been waiting for many, many years in this country. And even if the administration, even if the current administration does not recognize your hard work, I do understand the fabulous job that immigrants have done in this country. America is a country of immigrants. America is a country that was built by immigrants. So therefore, I do recognize the wonderful job you are doing for our great nation. Keep up the good work, and let us pray and let us hope during this Thanksgiving that the new president, Joe Biden, will change the immigration laws and bring happiness to all our brothers and sisters who have been anxiously waiting for a change in the immigration laws since the past 20 years. The instant program constitutes an attorney advertisement under the laws of the state of New York. We handle immigration cases of all types of immigration cases, employment-based immigration, marriage cases, fiancé visas, deportations, sponsoring relatives, EB1, extraordinary ability waivers, H1Bs, labor certifications, entertainers visas, performers visas, J visas from all over the United States and the world. We'll be back again with our viewers on the following Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep watching Green Card with Gehi, and please don't forget to share this video. Thank you, folks. The instant program is an attorney advertisement under the laws of the state of New York. Prior results do not guarantee future outcome. I have one question here. Let me take it before I leave. Can I still qualify green card if my H1B overstayed 5 years by the pathway system by Joe Biden? Right now, Bharat, you cannot, but I would say once if exactly the law changes, then you may, but currently you do not qualify for that exception. Thank you, folks.